Everything else. Okay, we live. I don't know what the deal is with Echo and the cross mic. The show is on you.
Yes, I mean,
Yes, sir.
ain't gonna stop.
We're gonna fix it. We're gonna switch over in a minute.
You let me give me a text group, okay?
Right.
And apologize to people that do.
You good.
Love from us.
We're gonna go to commercial real quick, and we'll be right back and start the show while we get our technical difficulties worked out. Let's go to a commercial. Okay. I don't know whether that's working better or not, but we were trying to work the kinks out, and we're live and starting, but we're going to work the kinks out and see how we can get it all fixed by switching over to another computer in a minute. I think it's the Wi-Fi they're crossing and with the modem, and so that's the whole problem is. But you can go ahead with the show.
You just tell me when to start.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get me. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome again to Straight Talk with David Thornton. We apologize for the inconvenience starting a little late because of technical problems with these computers. That happens all the time when you watch a program on television. When you have breakdown in some systems, and we were trying to clear that up. However, this program is designed to educate, inform, inspire, and to let you know as much as possible how government impact our lives. I have an wonderful program here today. First, I want to say that we have a serious problem in our country trying to maintain our democracy. I don't know whether you watched television the other day when Supreme Court was airing the case about the Colorado situation with Mr. Trump and with the Secretary of State, where they refused to put him on the ballot. I sat patiently listening, and they were showing the pictures of who was speaking and answering the questions. But I'm sure I will agree with all of the persons who were listening and making comments to the justice of the court. They're going to decide Colorado and then it's going to ballot. But what they need to do to solve that problem is to get out and vote. People get out and really vote. He cannot acquire those electoral votes. I don't know how many electoral votes Colorado has, but to deny him the right to win on electoral college votes. Maine also will be affected once the Supreme Court make a decision. Then they appeal to the district courts or the appellate courts to enforce what the Supreme Court has already said. Well, but the thing to watch next week is the one where he's trying to say that the president has immunity. In other words, he can have anybody assassinated. He can kill his own wife while he's the president, and nothing can happen to him. Now, this is where I'm looking for him to really fall, because the judge in Washington, Miss Ladyman's Chucka Can or whatever her name is, she has already said and stated that he is just like any other American with a criminal offense, and he's no better. And he must be treated the same way as any other American. I just can't. What worries me is I can't believe that the American people are so stupid. This man has done anything, has done so many things since he's been a young man and never paid the price. His dad even paid money to keep him out of the draft for going into Vietnam. So that's the problem we have with this man. This man has a mental problem. Now they're trying to say Mr. Biden has a memory problem. Well, all the wonderful things he has done, if he didn't have this a memory problem that they say he has, and no telling what minimum good things he could have done. So it's ridiculous what the Republicans are doing. They've been in power, and they have not done anything but one thing constructive. A bipartisan bill did get support from some of the Republicans for the infrastructure bill. And what was amazing, this lady from Arizona, the man with the commentator was her why she did not support the infrastructure bill. But there she was, right by the bridge. So all the money was going to build, tear this old bridge down and build the bridge. Where the commentator said to her, well, yes, but you voted against the bill. You voted against the bill that would direct the situation with the roads, and with the bridges, and other infrastructure matters in this country. So I just thought I would just mention that, and we would keep our eyes open and our ears open to see what happens on the immunity case and others. The one in New York, we will keep our eyes on them. Now, the situation in Atlanta with the young lady who was the DA. Now, it's unfortunate that happened, but nobody's a perfect person. If anybody think they're perfect, they need to look at themselves, because the Word of God has said everybody has sinned. It's unfortunate she did not use good judgment, but the fact of the matter is that has no correlation with what he did. What has to do with him calling the Secretary of State? And if I could just find me 1,100, 800, whatever votes it was, where's the relationship there? he had to lie to say that they're going to be the elected to, to count the votes. Votes will be counted by the vice president. He tried to steal the election. I don't see where that has nothing to do with what she did with this young man. So you have to watch to see what happens in that case. But certainly, the man should be in jail. That's nobody else in this country has ever done the thing that he has done, and nothing has happened to him. No trial and nothing so far. Now, everybody knows that that has been so Obama. The case has been over a long time. He would really be sitting in the Crossbar Hotel. That's the jailhouse. Now, I want to change up that subject, and as these developments occur, perhaps we'll be talking about it in the next month if it's God's will. Now, this month, as we know, is Black History Month. Every president has issued a resolution outlining the fact that this is a month that should be held in high esteem. Why should we have Black history? Is it important? Yes, it is. Because what it does, it shows all of the contributions that Black folks have made to this nation. They've given their lives since the beginning of the country. And the Civil War, 5,000 Black men got into the war, free Black men. During that time, you had a lot of Blacks who were free. They participated in the Civil War to help sustain and put this country back in order. Now, the biggest problem now, they're talking about the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, but they want to say Trump is not an officer. But I have been staying very attentively listening to the court case, and no one has said anything about Article 2, Section 2, where it says, in effect, that the president shall be commander-in-chief of the military, the federal military, and of the states. And commander, that's the word I want you all to listen to. A commander has always been a military general. And I don't know why nobody mentioned that. He's trying to say, because the 14th Amendment, Section 3, does not say about the president, but to talk about all the military people. And he is the commander-in-chief of the military. But back to Black history, I had to throw it into my mind. But Black history is important to us. Black history is sorted right now by many people who do not want to tell the truth what Black folk had to do during slavery, and they want to whitewash these things. They want to put that don't want the children to know what happened, as if America has always been a well-clean organization among the citizens, where they've kept Black folk in slavery from 1619 to 1863, 60 when really the Civil War started, when South Carolina started down in that harbor in Charleston. But the fact of the matter is this: they do not want these white children to know all of the tragedy and abuse that we took as people, our Black ancestors. Now, when you think about Black history, why do we need it? We need it to do this. Number one, to instill pride, dignity, and awareness, so our young people will know a lot about our history. The parents have a responsibility to really, if necessary, take them to libraries or African tours, anything where they can learn about our people. When I was a young man in school, everybody had to write a composition about some famous African American. I don't know what they do now for Black history, but they're trying to. The politicians are trying to whitewash it. For instance, I don't know. Can you see this book? See the king.
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hold it up.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Now you take this book right here. They're banning books. They're banning books in some of the states, particularly in Florida. That book right there, this young lady, is one of the books that they have banned but they don't want children to read. About this young lady, this girl with white people I showed you last year by Black History. You'll see a lot of the books because that's still into our minds about our thing that happened to our race. This young lady here was a first or second grade child in school, and the parents took all of the white children out of school. And a white woman came from New York, a tied teacher from New York, came and taught this child. Now you see this child being right now, she's walking behind a U.S. Marshal. They had to protect her. And next month, as I taught my Black history, like I did last year, I will open up some of the pages. They even had a doll in the casket saying to her in the face that this is what's going to happen to you. It's awful. And this America told in a country of respect and dignity. Now, I will tell you a perfect experience. When I was in the military, I love to read. I love to read because you didn't get that much money. When you get that little check, it's gone. And so I would spend my time going to the library, and over in Germany, a lot of these countries, the military hired a lot of civilians. And there was a German head of the library. And he and I were good friends when I would go there to talk. So he asked me one day, he said, Content, what part of the country you live in America? I told him that I was in the southern part of the country. And that man said to me, he said, well, isn't that where black folk are not treated so nice? Now, how do you think I felt when that man said that to me? Thousands of miles away, serving my country, and can't come back in and be treated like a sister. Now, you take tomorrow the Super Bowl. We got black quarterbacks and a lot of teams. But do you know what they used to say? Black man can't be no quarterback. He can't remember all them plays. That's what they used to say. And look at the way they did Jackie Robinson. And now today, the young people today, you ought to read and try to find out what's going on because you do not understand and know the abuse that black folk had to endure to get our civil rights. And now they're trying to undo everything that we've already done. But we're going to be talking about these things as we move forward into the next month and keep us abreast of what's going on. And I need you to tell other people about this show and tell other people about Black history. It's upon ourselves. Oh, incidentally, yesterday, the other night on the television, now you know this is awful, this is ridiculous. Now they're concerned about black pilots flying commercial airlines. And one man said on the television, he said, I would never fly a plane if a woman was being the pilot. When I flew to Austin, Texas, when I was working in the education system, to a meeting, and when the plane landed and exited the plane, I could see into the cockpit. It was a black pilot that was piloting the plane. What has the color of the man's skin has to do with what's in his head and the training he has had? And they broke the line, very line of color, and now they have quarterbacks. So many teams have black quarterbacks. They could have been doing what they did and doing now years ago. But the racism in this country is unbelievable. They're trying to whitewash, trying to keep us from voting. And you ought to keep people, encourage people to vote and participate in this democracy. But Trump wants to overturn this democracy, do away with the Constitution, and be like Putin in Russia. That's why we got to get out and vote. We got to get out and vote. We had got to vote like we never voted before. And I want these young, they keep saying that Biden is losing the young people, all that kind of foolishness. We got to get out and vote. Look what Biden did. So try his best to wipe out, excuse me, all that college loan that these black students owe. Now let's be realistic. We know most of the money that really is owed by minority people, particularly black people. Excuse me. So let's get out and vote. We got to get out and vote. Now, I'll be talking about Black history like I did last year, every month, Black history. It was started by Carl Woodson, a professor at Harvard University. And incidentally, he graduated from his PhD from Harvard University, one of the oldest schools in the country. Many presidents went to Harvard. But I want people to understand that when you look at Harvard, Dartmouth, Brown, Princeton, those are schools that were set up in the 1800s. But when you get a degree from any college that has been accredited, it's just as good. Because I don't know what that school you're going in the world, Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States. That does not change. 2 and 2 is 4. That does not change. Okay, what school you go to? Fact of the matter, you go to improve yourself and make a contribution to our community. That's what we got to do. Now, I'm going to move on to, after we had a little bit of a problem with getting on the air, my time is a little different. I got to look at my watch and see what constitutes this hour, in case I run over a little bit. But anyway, I have a very distinguished guest here tonight. I forgot to say in my opening, I guess because I was a little upset about the problem that we had getting online and stuff tonight. But what I want to say is that this program is put into existence by Mr. Julius Hall, who is the president and the CEO of our Black media. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I have him here tonight. Fine man. I always tell him how much I appreciate him, even though I'm known all over the city by a lot of white people and a lot of black people, all the work I did in civil rights, first black man chairman of the Board of Public Health, all of that. But still, he has made me known even more because I'm doing what I really like to do, and that is to share information to my people to make my people better. Because after all, future generations must come from us who are here today. We have to set the pace. We have to instill in the children we have today. So when they have children, they'll be able to exist.
You got something to drink?
Give some water. Excuse me. Excuse me. They got a can of water. Excuse me, ladies. Water. Follow it. In the cabinet. Yeah. I apologize. That's help me. This allergy having this city is bad. But anyway, as I was saying, thank you.
All right. You get the pass, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, please.
We know that you are 90 years old, and
yeah,
and we not worrying about that.
This allergy is something. So what I was about to say was, I have Mr. Julius Hall here tonight. He's a fine gentleman. The thing I like about him, I want you to know about him, he is some character. you know, what I try to do a lot of times, I do read God's word all the time. I'm a perfect man now. There had not been but one perfect man in this world who walked this earth. That was Jesus Christ. And if you sin, he will forgive you. If you really want to change. And I'm looking at Mr. Hall, man, that my judgment, he didn't have such a good life. He straight. He got off the rail there for a while. He got off the rail from his training. But the word of God said, bring up a child when you're having to go. And when they get older, they will not depart from it. Because I know about my own boys got mixed up with them drug stuff. But they got their lives back together because every Sunday, when my wife was alive when I was growing up, we took them to church, Sunday school. And they come back to you if you train them right, regardless what you do. But so I'm concerned about my young people. And I'm so happy with a man like Mr. Hall, that God put his hand on them and really use them. Now, but I got to say, Mr. Hall, you know, the name of my show is Straight Talk. You were some gigolo. I'm gonna tell you that to your face.
Well, that was my younger days. First,
Yeah.
I want to apologize to everybody for the technical difficulties. We got 2 or 3 computers running and the modem and 2 or 3 different hotspots. So I don't know whether it's a problem with one of the hotspots or what, but we apologize and we'll try to get it corrected. But yeah, Mr. Thorne knows my early days, and there's nothing I can do about my early days.
No,
Some of us were a little bit more active than others, and
I would say no, you were very active. But I got to say this, ladies and gentlemen, he had the women now. He had the women. And I'm going to show you, first thing, what I usually do. What I do, I try in the best of my ability, seeking out making a metaphor of you against a person. Now, in case somebody doesn't know what a metaphor is, it's not exactly the thing, but you have a lot of characteristics like this person.
Mm.
And you know what I compared you to, Mr. Hall? I compared you to, I told you before. I believe I told you. But anyway, I want the audience to know to whom I compared him to the Apostle Paul.
Wow.
He was a terrible man. He did killing. Anybody mention Jesus, he punished you. Anybody talk about the Christians, he really punished you. It's just unbelievable the things that he did. They had a Holocaust with Christians. Like Hitler had the Holocaust with the Jewish people. That's what the Apostle Paul did. But what happened to Apostle Paul in the final analysis? He was on the road to Damascus. What's the place called Damascus? And Jesus spoke for him from heaven. And it was so bright, glorious body, knocked him off the horse. Knocked him off the horse. And Jesus said to him, Saul, why persecute thou me? And in final analysis, he was blind. And he had to with him. So he was told, they were told to take him to a man named Ananias. And in time, he was a righteous man. He gave him a sight day. So what I'm saying, that all the witnesses all did, things that he did. Now he wrote this beautiful book right here that I'm reading. As you're crossing the line, Julius, story of Toure. And he's not putting any pictures in this book. And I think, how much is the book sell?
That particular version there is $30. You can get the PG version for $20.
Well, he said the version is $30. And the other version, what's got the version called?
The X-rated version, PG version.
Oh, the X-rated version, the PG version. This is the PG.
I believe that's the X-rated.
Oh, this is X-rated version. Make it right. I know so.
That's the hardcore. That's the X-rated version.
Red Day.
You got to put it up there where they can see it.
Yeah, this is the hardcore version right here. The X-rated version. I mean, it is subverted. I can say one thing to myself, Mr. Hall. You was the latest man, straight day in the morning.
Yeah, those were my younger days.
We know this was his younger days. We know that. We know that, Mr. Hall. But even his younger days, you were some gigolo. I can tell you that. When I started reading this book, I was 1 o'clock one night. It was after 2 o'clock when I finished. I finished the whole book, 4 or 5 chapters. And I was so amazed at this book.
Did it make you feel 20, 30, 40 years younger?
No, it didn't even, no, I didn't like to know where was I growing up with all these women you had. Well, you must have all of them. And I wrote the names down. Ladies and gentlemen, I called him and told him what I said. Now, when I started telling him, I said, now you know I'm reading this book, right? He said, yeah, you're reading it. You're reading it. You're really reading it. You're really reading it. And so many of these women, man. I think I wrote down about 5 or 6 women. And I'm not halfway through the book yet. But then I'm gonna tell you, he knew that he got involved with them drug people. He went to jail. All of that. So that's what I like about it in this book. He told the truth. And but let me tell you what God did for the man. They sent him from one prison to another. And I thought about how they did Apostle Paul. The man, Apostle Paul, was in a shipwrecked, beaten, snake bitten, put in jail, and all of that. But Apostle Paul became the greatest missionary of the world as ever known. And if you think a man like Billy Graham, which a man in a spot I never seen a man like this before, even during segregated days, Billy Graham had his religious things integrated. And the white folk in places like North Carolina, you can't have, he's not having it. God does not have any segregation among his children. So that's why I compare this man to a lot of things like so look what he's doing today. The wonderful things he's doing to the community today. And he's in prison. Now we're reading how these men in jail get these drugs. They're already in the jailhouse, in prison, and they get drugs. And he was telling me how that was happening. Because he was in the jail, but he knew what was going on. These police brought drugs into jail, and a lot of these men fighting over drugs, and some of the who's the name that I've heard, that came in the jail, the one that wanted to kill you.
Big Nose?
Hey, he had a guy named Big Nose. You don't know that it's his name. Yeah, Big Nose. Somebody had another foolish name. Called it Big Nose. And then, of course, there was those that in the book that lied on the hall. They were deeply involved with drugs and all of that. And, of course, they began to try to look out for themselves by lying to the police officer, but they wouldn't indict themselves. So he had to take a while of that for what they said. And now, what was surprising to me was when this Big Nose man came into the prison, he got involved with the gang. And put a police officer or someone who murdered a child, a senior citizen, and they put you in jail, you better pray and ask them to put you out of the population because they're going to kill you. And the word got around with the Big Nose and all, but he got that we got a former police officer here in the jail. Well, we're going to get rid of it. That was horrible. But what God did do, God moved immediately in this situation. And immediately, he didn't even know that they transferred him out of that facility to another facility, Alabama. I got to finish reading. So, I've been reading the book this all.
You've been reading.
So
they did transfer me out.
But I haven't gotten to Alabama yet. I guess when I started reading Alabama, you'll start revealing a lot of that foolishness you did. But I got to think, John, this. All the women in relationship with, did you produce children in the world? He said, not so I complimented him for that. Because he did. He was a family head in so when the drugs are really prevalent in Washington, D.C., and this was happening during the period when the hospital, during President Carter's administration, when a group of militants broke into the U.S. embassy in Iran and took the hospital, everybody that worked, about 100 or 200 people, and had them hostages. And they were trying to get them out. But when it went bad, when the helicopter the man in charge of the operation, the general, you know, shape himself, didn't put the dustpan under the helicopter. When the helicopter is cranked up, all the blades going, blowing, round and round and round and round. And what did it do? It blew all the dust into the engines, and one or two of them crashed. So all these type of things that went on during those times. But I got to sit on this hall. You didn't have any babies.
Well, I mean, I did have two, but
I mean, when you running around with the women.
oh no,
I know you had two lovely girls. I know his daughters because both of them were debutantes. You know, I'm an alpha, and both of his daughters, none of the girls, ladies, high school girls at that time, they were debutantes, and we were pleased to have them too, Mr. Hall. But that was in your younger days. You really was, as I say, you was a gigolo. Now I'm gonna tell you something else too. That was impressive. Not only did he, I'm gonna get his number before you get off the show tonight, and I get his telephone number in case you're interested in purchasing this book. He tells it like it is, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Another thing, when he was in prison, he had all that time. Where was he going? He couldn't be. So he used his time constructively. He wrote this book right here, a book of poems. And I haven't read all of them, but I read a lot of them. A lot of the poems I read in this book. But I'm just going to mention about 5 of them I thought was very impressive to me. Now, you may read them and you may fall in love with some of the things. I read a lot of the poems in this book. And, okay. One of the ones I love was on page 6. It was, give up and never quit. He never quit trying to write. He never quit that he had a desire to change his life when he got out to freedom again. Then another one, this was interesting. I read Mr. Hall, leaving love. Well, he was a gigolo enough to have no love a long time. he lived love.
Yeah, I wrote from experiences that I had.
Well, he wrote from experience, yeah. So now he said leaving love. He talked about his woman he left and love and all that. Another one was on page 52 was fall in love.
Right.
That's what you fell.
Well, yeah, you would think that when you're young, everybody you start dating, you fall in love because you're infatuated with being.
Yeah. A lot of young people get married. That love don't do nothing when the rent man do, or when the light bill do. That was fall in love, and then another one, being a policeman. He talked about his experience being a police. Now, see, being a police, we have a lot of corrupt police officers. No question about that. Especially the black people. Being a policeman, and that was on page 44. So I read all the 5 poems, and I scanned through some of the others. But the one that really was impressive to me, it wasn't a poem as such, but it was a prefix to your book, Mr. Hall, and that was very impressive when I read it last night. And that was
well, what inspired me to write each one of the poems?
What inspired him talk about how God was with you, that you was a young man that really showed sorry for things that you did. And here's what I made a little mark of it. Nobody, I'm gonna read what it says. Nobody can make me feel any different. You can't embarrass me, shame me, or make me feel unworthy. Listen, my debt is paid on earth, but I still owe God. See, that was That's why you got to respect a man like that. You got to respect a man like that. He did not waste his time with drugs and in the prison. He tried to straighten his life, get his life where he can come back to the community and make a contribution constructively. And that's what he has done.
And that's what I was trying to do was to tell people that when I left prison, I owed nobody but God. And so my mission and everything that I was doing was that was my focus. It was nothing else had me focused to do anything other than what I was doing then.
But
Because I know that once paid, a debt no longer a debt. So I'm not worried about owing anybody. That's why I said that nobody can shame me. You can't shame me. You can't embarrass me. There's nothing that you can do because I don't owe you nothing.
exactly.
Now had I owed you, then you might do some of those things, but you can't do none of that to me
And you
because
know, one of the main things I think, Mr. Hall, I think society would be better if we think a lot of the things that Jesus said, but so many people never read the book of the Bible. Never. And that's why I talk about we got to teach our children. If you go to the library, you see people there with the children. Ain't no black moms there with the children. Be the white people there with the children in the church section of the library. You got to take your children to explore the reading thing.
and nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. I'm just going to say that.
Oh no, the sun can't touch me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you.
But nobody's perfect. True. That's why Jesus said these words right now. And I'm quoting the Lord Jesus. Take the beam out of your eye, and you can clearly see the mote in your brother's eye.
Yeah,
See?
that's right. That's right.
Your eyes mess up, and you try to criticize somebody else,
Right.
and you just as worse than other, and another way, nobody's a perfect person.
And Mr. Thornton, my mission and what I do with this platform is totally different than what everybody else does. Somebody told me today, say you need to stop bothering people. You need to stop picking on people. But I don't pick on people. I don't do that. What I do is I bring information to our community like nobody else is doing. Ain't
Sure.
nobody else bringing community information.
Nobody else. I say
like
that many
our
times.
black media is bringing information.
Absolutely. Nobody is talking about. I don't think a lot of our people are falling down to white people. I can tell you that. And trying to get rid of black people. That's what's most disgusting to me. See, but Mr. Hall is doing what nobody has done. I think Reverend Smalls has a show. A man who really works in this community. And I just don't understand that. I just don't understand Savannah. I can tell you that. I don't understand.
And they talk bad about Pastor Paul. They talk bad about me.
Oh,
they
yeah.
talk bad about Toure.
Yeah.
Everybody on our program giving out good information.
Well, I guess they talk bad about me, but I don't care.
So they talk bad about King. Martin King didn't have everybody's following.
You know what a lady told me in my office today? You see that clock? They gave me that because they had a bunch of young people from Dallas, Texas, that she was taken to different cities to see what they were like and when them to get in college. She told me, it was a lie she told her, she hadn't been to lie to me. She told me that the ministers in Dallas, Texas, did not want Dr. King to come to Dallas. And I never ever even been to no Dallas. Did you know that? When that lady told me that I couldn't kiss it, Dr. King had never been to Dallas because the ministers don't want him to come. I don't understand how people
the thing is, and history will look back on what we're doing today, and it'll reflect who was doing the work and who was selling us out. We got a lot of people that's selling out. We got a lot of people doing the work that's not being recognized.
Exactly.
And I don't do this for recognition.
Sure don't.
I don't try to get out there and try to toot my horn. I just happen to be the guy that's out front. I just happen to be the guy that's funding it. I just happen to be the guy that's everywhere doing everything. So I'm not tooting my home. I just got to get out there. Ain't nobody else.
Nobody.
You know, but the team that I have around me, that's a team of us.
Yeah.
And um, those people are starting to be seen now, such as yourself. You
Yeah.
bring it. You're on the program. See that shirt you wearing? Y'all see that shirt?
Yeah, they see that.
Yeah, they see it because
And I'm
he's a
proud
part of
the team.
of our team. Let me see if I can move that so they can see your um they can see your eye like me. You see that? Let me shirt up there. These are our shirts.
Our shirt.
Company shirts. You know, these are the hosts. The hosts wear these on the show if they can.
I just told you. Now, I believe you told me one day that the 5 programs that you show these programs intermittently to other shows and all of that we talked about 40,000 people a month.
Yes, sir.
30 to 40,000 people.
During the pandemic, it was up to 38 to 40,000 people a month. Now it's about 22 to 28 people, 22 to 28,000.
That's a lot of people.
But we could do a whole lot better if people share. It's getting out there. During the pandemic, a lot of people were in the house. And then now a lot of people want to work, got activities on the street, and they're tired, so they don't watch as much. But we are on this platform to bring the information so we can try to educate our community.
See, a lot of people, they don't watch national news. Mm-hmm. They don't understand a lot of things going on. You see, just like I said, from 10 to 12, when the Supreme Court actually in the case, the lawyers for the defense and the lawyers for the state, not the state, but the other bodies. So, but what you have done, you have exposed me even more. I mean, I'm not even in the civil rights a long time. But like I say, when things happen in the city, they go to certain people. The white folks go to certain people.
Yeah.
And what they ask them, what's to them?
Like they speak for everybody.
Like they speak for everybody. 2 or 3 people. That kills them. And then we got the ministers to open their mouths about nothing going on around the town in the city. It's a shame. Now, every minister in this city right now ought to be talking about voting every Sunday. Talking about voting. Because let me tell y'all something. Those Republicans, you know what hurt me? I read a lot of history. I know about the Civil War and all that. I read. But what really gets me is that these things are happening. They know the Republicans right now, they want to slash Social Security. Mm-hmm. They want to, Obama was the only president in the history of all the 200 years of this nation over. We never had a national health insurance, period. England had it, France had it, Canada had it, but the Republicans didn't want it. And now it's still, after Obama had left the office, still trying to overturn the affordable health care. Millions of people got that affordable health care.
And that's what we try to do with telling people that they need to pay attention, because see, before you know it, they be done took everything from you and you don't feel it till that knee is on your neck. And then you want to complain, and now you want to be engaged. Now you want to protest.
Absolutely.
Now you want to because it directly affects you. But we're trying to tell you ahead of time so you can start your advocacy now, so that it won't happen to you or won't happen to your aunt or your grandmama or your old uncle or to my good friend right here. Will they be done strip Social Security and wonder how you gonna pay your bill? Will they be done the SIS? You don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
And don't have enough money to pay the rent or to keep the lights on.
But you know,
and they don't understand that.
No, they don't understand. Trying to tell you, get out and vote. That's the thing. That's what. Listen, and take Louisiana and Alabama. There were 8 districts. Only one district black that had a chance to put the black person in the Congress. They're trying to take away the vote. I'm gonna tell you what they want to do. They want to make the retirement age 70-something years old before you retire. Yeah. They want to make it 70 years old.
I just applied. I promise you, yesterday. It was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
That I applied. It was Friday.
Social Security?
Thursday. Thursday. I applied for Social Security.
Well,
I mean, I know I look 36, but I'm really 62.
well, I'm 90. God has blessed me to be 90. And I don't know how long I'm going to live, but as long as I live with the last few years He given me, I'm going to keep talking to elevate and make things better for my people.
Yeah,
I have never been Uncle Tom, and I ain't going to never be an Uncle Tom. I suffer, and I don't care. But I'm going to speak the truth.
That's right.
I'm going to
That's
speak
why
the
you
truth.
wear this shirt.
Yeah, well, I wear this shirt.
That's right.
And the thing is that I speak out.
And you got to.
I remember one time when I was in the technical school, and I told you about the dirt and the ditch, but I don't talk about that Christ took at me. But here's what I'm saying. The lady came around one day, she went to all the schools, and she said, I'm doing a tour. She worked for the state. She said, I'm doing a tour. We'll be trying to see how we can improve the GVA, that's the General Vocational Association. And you went every year for 3 days a week in Atlanta. And everybody was sitting in there. And so she said, does anybody have any complaint or anything to use the organization better? She said, that's what I want to know. Nobody put their hand up in the air with me. All the black people in there. So she said, all right, Mr. Dunn, but would you tell me your name? I told my name and everything. And she said, well, what is your great concern? I said, I'll tell you what my concern is this, ma'am, that I've been going to GVA for 8 years, and I have never seen a black person on that stage in the opening of the convention. Never. No other black did that. But I bet you one thing, when I went there the next year, a black minister was reading the scriptures and all. Mm-hmm. You don't get nothing. You don't speak up.
If you don't speak up, they're not going to give you anything. A closed mouth do not get fed.
You know what I do too?
Tell people that all the time.
You know what I do too, Mr. Hall? I guess because I grew up fighting for civil rights. It's just a part of my makeup. When I go to a place and I look around, I shoot my mouth off, I don't see. And if I be ordering or whatever, I don't see nobody black. I send for the manager. Place right up there in the shopping center, a big lot. A lot of blacks in there, because everyone. My son come in there last week. So when I went there, I didn't see nobody black. So the white girl came, she's very nice, right, lady. And I say, man, let me ask you a question. You already had no, I said, who in this place? Some foreign. I said, you already have no black people working in here? No black waitresses? No black waitresses in here? She said, oh, we got 1 or 2 of them, but they're not in today. All right. Well, I just want to know. And then because we were right back there last week, and I saw 2 black people. Man, I'm going to ask you.
Where's this at?
It's called Tots, whatever that regular place. Loaded with black people in the morning. Right at the time of the is. Have a good breakfast. Loaded with black people in the morning, 7 o'clock at the morning. Because I didn't go to my But the fact of the matter is, I speak out. I ain't never been scared to speak out and never will be. And what I cannot understand to save my life, these ministers, listen to me well. Dr. King was 28 years old, and he turned the country upside down. Did he not? 28. Black people take care of ministers. White folk don't pay y'all money.
King could did a whole lot more had everybody been behind him.
But everybody, a lot of niggas were behind him.
We
Negroes.
And we are the divided race on the planet.
I agree with that.
Not together to do anything because we have too many people not looking out for the least of us.
Exactly. A lot of Negroes don't
they have the power. When you have the power to change things, it is incumbent upon you to change those things. And you get people that don't understand their obligation. They don't understand that they have a charge to keep. That charge is to make sure that everybody else is coming along also. And now they are in the greedy stage. just about them, the boule, the bougies. Um, those people are leaving everybody else behind, and that's a problem. That's what we do on this particular platform. We try to make sure that we bring everybody on. We're not. We should be doing right now as far as the growth of what we're doing. It's going to take all of it. It's going to take all the sharing. It's going to take everybody understanding what the mission is and and and, and everybody in the right.
Yeah, but I don't Negroes don't stick together. You know what people do? As you person get into the community, open up their bakery. All these people they go into another one. But you know what they do? They'll stop going to that for a while, or put some of the money that while hit the other man, get on his feet.
Yeah, even in the Indian community, they have meetings where they all put $1,000 in to help the person hit and start his business.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
there's 100 people in there with this guy, and each one of them getting 1,000. He got $100,000 to start his business.
But
That's
Negroes,
the way that they do it. But we don't understand that concept because see, we've been brainwashed and institutionalized to always pull each other down and not try to help.
like a bunch of crabs, like Negroes live in a bunch of crabs. We don't support one another. We don't support black businesses. They pass by white store, go right into to pass by white store, go right to the black man's store. I don't know when we do that. I know one show I talk about this man, Willie Lynch. You ever heard of him?
Yes, sir. The Willie Lynch syndrome.
The Willie Lynch syndrome. How he came and what he did to black folks, to the plantation owners, and how he treated Negroes at that time. But we have some several Negroes that stay down the river for nothing.
Yes, sir. You know,
I don't know. I don't know what's going to take. Our young people
way past our commercial time too. The producer over there is telling me that we're past our commercial time. So we'll be right back after commercial, people. Y'all just hang on 1 second. We got a couple of commercials that we're gonna play for y'all, and then get back to our scheduled program.
because I want to find about the books again.
Yes, sir. We'll talk about the books as soon as the producer can take us to the commercial.
Hi, I'm Katie Brewington and I'm running for Magistrate Court Judge. Magistrate Court is often called the People's Court because people represent themselves or are pro se litigants. Magistrate Court handles civil claims up to $15,000, dispossessory proceedings, pre-warrant applications, and good behavior bonds. I'm a great candidate for judge because I have the experience, compassion, and drive to get the job done. I have been a probation officer, a criminal defense attorney, a solicitor, and a municipal court judge, and I will take all of that experience to get the job done. So remember, vote Katie Brewington, May 21st, for Magistrate.
What's that May 21st then?
That's when the election is for the judges.
Oh, so is that in November election?
Sir? November is for everybody else. For the judges,
Oh, they got 7 county judges.
Yeah, the judges is nonpartisan. You only
Well,
got one election. When you got Democrat running against Republican, then you got to go all the way to November.
yeah. So if you got one election match, you need to run. If you got nothing,
Yeah, you got 2 other people running against
anybody black.
No, I don't know.
I want somebody to run against that damn uh, Tanya. That number,
You lied.
huh?
I said you lied.
I lied.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I'll
back.
take care of my name. I don't care. I got 11 people right in my family. I tell them face. They all that people to vote for.
Yeah.
Myself, all my children,
Hmm.
2 of my good members, 2 of them live right on the street. 3 of them really. I will never have my children embarrassing to me like you did me.
Yes, sir.
So the commercial's over.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hall. Now I want people to
Oh, Miss Diane Brown Dow said the name of the place is Locks. Yeah.
Lots. LOTS.
LOCS.
Huh? Oh, LOCS. That's the restaurant. Thank whoever was calling in there. Thank you very much.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah, I just wanted to say hey to all the people. You got people watching all in New Jersey and everywhere else, all over the country.
My son watches in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
My son watches in Seattle, Washington. He's out of the military and he's married. He lives in Seattle. And Lord's willing, I want to try to go see him if I live in September.
I want to send a special hello out to my some family members up in New Jersey and New York and all up in Philly. A Raymond Fuller and Pamela Brown Mims and Vanessa.
I just want to say to the people who are listening all over the world and all over the country, and be here in Savannah, I got to say one thing about Savannah. Dr. King came here, and I don't like to brag about this, but I have to tell the truth. I had a chance to meet him and say, yeah, you and I sitting together. I met him when he got out of prison in Reedsville, and I passed on, shook his hand, sat next to him, and I told him, I said, I told Scooter that, yeah, but I sure wish I could have gotten you out of the prison. And I met Thurgood Marshall, and people see these are things our children need to know about some of our black people to inspire them. See, you never know, Mr. Hall, when you read your life by Thurgood Marshall. He lived in Baltimore, and he wanted to be a dentist. His mom and dad said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be a dental school. Go to Howard University Dental School." We don't. The book never says what inspired him to want to be a lawyer. So he wrote for an application at the University of Maryland. He got the application, filled the application, and when he sent the application in, they had on, I guess they had to have what race are you. So they mailed the application back to him and said they could not accept him because of his race. When you hear that in America, man, it makes my blood boil. I get sick to my soul to hear that. And they're running all over the world, saying we had a democracy, and the majority of race could even citizens are treated like second class people. And so Thurgood Marshall went to Howard University.
Yeah, we went out for a second. It's 2 or 3 different devices that's running, and one of them is real slow. Now we came back and we on one. We on one. That thing went out. Now we're doing okay.
So,
See if you hear us real good over there.
so I go talk about my
Yes, sir. You can talk about
So-
anything now. It's clear now.
Oh,
For
good.
some reason, it finally went
Well,
out.
we finally got the what they call that thing.
The Wi-Fi,
No, I'm talking about
the modem,
no, I'm talking about the disease. What they call it?
COVID. What?
No, I'm talking about computers acting
Virus.
virus. I think he's saying now that they've been working and working, the virus may be gone. But anyway, let me tell you back to Thurgood Marshall. So when he finished law school, he started working for the NAACP. And the NAACP set up what they call the Education Defense Fund. And Thurgood Marshall was the head counselor. Thurgood Marshall first got integrated the colleges. The University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I just cannot understand. I cannot see, other than race and the color of a person's skin, what that has to do with the individual. But anyway, he was able to get the black man in the University of Oklahoma. But you see, they had a special law, ladies and gentlemen, that was passed by the Supreme Court. And I went, this is what the white man had kept black folk down for over at least 80 years. 20 years would have been 100 years, a century. And that was the decision in 1896. Don't forget that. 1896. That was the Plessy case. And the Plessy case was a case in which a mulatto man, looked like a black man, sat on a train and sat in the coach where the white folks were. And the conductor told him he had to go out of that coach, and he refused. And he arrested him. So the abolitionists and rich folk got behind, and he filed a suit in the Supreme Court. Plessy versus Ferguson. The first, I think the man Ferguson was the head man of the union, the trains person. He was the head person there. And that's why his name was Ferguson. And when the case was decided in 1896, they said the conductor had a right to move the man out of the white coach. The only person, a black person, would be in there would be a nanny keeping the white children. And 1896 decision was Plessy versus Ferguson. And that was the case that knocked down integration to be segregation, to bring integration into existence. The Supreme Court, May 17, 1954. And that would be about 80 years. But black folk had been through so much trouble. You had a case where a man was a slave. And the man took him to free territory. And he could not be free because the Supreme Court said he was property. So, and they're still trying to put black folk down. I told you earlier during the show about taking out the books. I don't know why they treat black folk, and black folk have made great contributions. You take like black man, Dr. Drew, Charles Drew, the man that really established the blood bank. So if any white folk ever had blood transfusion, you go there to a black man. You got your blood A, some got B. The black man, Charles Drew, England hired him to do the blood bank in their country.
I believe.
What'd you say?
No, I was saying that some of
So,
the signal that
black folk made such great contributions. And back to Thurgood Marshall, he went before the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, 32 times. And only lost 3 cases. And one of his assistant lawyer, Mrs. Constance Mortley, She died of cancer. I met her. She came here to argue the case. The local NAACP had her here to argue the case to integrate Fred Wessels. He had Hitch Village eventually came down there, but Fred Wessels. There were two women were trying to integrate Fred Wessels. And I was sitting in the federal court. You had old racist judge, federal judge. You know, he had some racist federal judges. And you had three judges of the Supreme Court, not Supreme Court, the district court, right here in Georgia. They went along with black folk, putting those two black students in the University of Georgia. Ms. Motley was the lady who would have been on the Supreme Court if she had not passed. That was so hurtful to me. I met her, and I took my grandson to the barber shop. And you know, when you go and see all these raggedy magazines. So I was sitting there looking at a magazine, and this magazine was really thrown to pieces. And I happened to turn and look at it, and there was an article by Ms. Martin with the law students at Purdue University, had her to come and be their lecturer for a while. So she did. And she was very, very upset about them. She's had an article how one young man got up and said, would not have been better instead of fight for integration, and we could have made them be truthful to separate but equal. Mm-hmm. That was the doctrine that came as a result of Plessy. So that's what the NAACP had to do.
I muted you for 1 second. We got to move on because the thing is real slow. You going?
But anyway, and the final analysis, Thurgood Marshall, I was trying to tell you about his life. Thurgood Marshall, when he became on the Supreme Court, the University of Maryland sent him an invitation and asked him to be the commencement speaker. Mm-hmm. He turned them down and said, but he wanted to come to school. They would not want him. Now, why they want him to come to be a speaker? So he refused to do that. So that was. Now, I want to, these two books, I guess it's always books before I get up to this show. These two books, I want to get your number, Mr. Hall, if anybody interested.
They already, it's strolling at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
And they can order the book anytime they get ready, because it'll be scrolling at the bottom of the screen to order my book. The computer, we're going to have to do a second part to this because the computer modems are going in and out, and I can see it by the bars up here.
Yes.
And so that's what it is.
But we apologize again. You know, anything that's man-made, look for discrepancy. Look for it not to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you be watching actual TV and it goes out. Mm-hmm. We apologize again, but we hope that we was able to share some kind of information that you appreciate, especially in the Black history. So next month I will be talking about